Hi everyone, Ken from the Thousand Mile Project here. Today I'm going to be talking about a character that means to say. It's built up from two of the characters that we've already discussed so far in this series, mouth and one. I'll scroll down here and show you. So this square-shaped character means mouth, and this of course means one. And the character we're talking about today is this one, which means to say. The origin of this character, if you go to Wiktionary, it's very cool because they'll show you what the more hieroglyphic looking form of the characters were back before. During the Han Dynasty, it was more stylized and made more block shaped. As you can see, instead of being a square, it looked more like sort of a U shape that looks kind of like a mouth. And then if you look at the character we're talking about today, to say, it's more or less the same thing, except it has a little mark to indicate a word coming out of the mouth. So this one's pretty easy to remember. If you want to come up with a mnemonic around that of like one and mouth to mean to say, some people do that when they're starting out learning Chinese characters. I used to do that when I began, but once I got up to like a few hundred characters, it was hard to keep track of all of the different mnemonics that I had come up with for the different characters that I was learning. If you don't know what a mnemonic is, it's basically like coming up with a story about the different components in a character to sort of jog your memory and be like, oh, one mouth says something. And then you remember, oh, okay, one, the little line inside mouth, it means to say. When you're starting out, that can be kind of useful. It gives your brain a foothold in the language, but eventually it's sort of like training wheels. I find that eventually those come off and it's easier to just remember the character more in terms of thinking about the components that make it up. So instead just thinking about it as, oh, okay, say is the mouth character with the one character inside of it, but not going all the way to the right side of the box. Anyway, to see the say character used in context in actual ancient texts, here's a line from the Analects. As you can see, it's right at the beginning here, and it means Confucius said. This character here, one of its meanings is master. So in the Analects, when it just says the master said, they're referring to Confucius. And then this quotation from Confucius is, have friend from far place or region come. These two together mean, is it not delight, joy, and then this basically means a question mark. All of these symbols from modern English punctuation, like the colon, these quotation marks, the question mark, the comma, these were all added, in the last 100 or 200 years. Back when they were reading this further back than that, it was all written top to bottom, one character at a time, without any punctuation. I was actually looking the other day at a PDF from the 1600s, and it was a copy of the classic of Mountains and Seas, and it's very interesting to see how there's no punctuation marks. So, because they didn't have punctuation marks, characters sort of played that same role. So this particular character acts kind of like a question mark does in English. So, pulling it all together, Confucius said, isn't it delightful to have friends come and visit you from far away or faraway places? So usually the say character, like I said, there were no quotation marks. So when you see that character after someone's name, basically it's the equivalent of colon and then the following stuff in quotation marks. But another more unusual use of the character is one that you see in the classic of Mountains and Seas. This is the first line in that particular text, and it's South Mountain Classic. This is a grammatical character which indicates that what precedes it modifies what follows it. This particular character means head, first, peak is another meaning it can have. But anyway, so the first of the Southern Mountain Classic, the first mountain, and then the say character is used here to mean is called, and then the name of the mountain is, this means magpie, this is the character for mountain. So the Southern Mountain Classic's beginning, or the first of the Southern Mountain Classic, is called Magpie Mountain. If you're enjoying the video, then please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Thanks and have a great day.